In a bright and colorful alien school, the walls were painted in vibrant shades of green, blue, and purple. Students chatted excitedly as they walked to their classroom, eager to learn about the galaxy and its many wonders. Today was special. The teacher, Ms. Glim, was going to talk about Earth, a small planet in the Milky Way that had caught the attention of many aliens. As the bell rang, the students hurried to their seats. The classroom was filled with different alien species, each more interesting than the last. There were tall, green Zorans with long arms, short, fluffy blorps who bounced in their seats, and shiny, silver Krillons who communicated with glowing lights. They all looked at Ms. Glim, their eyes wide with anticipation. "Today, we will talk about humans," Ms. Glim announced with a smile. "Humans live on Earth, and they are very different from us. But they are also very special." The students whispered among themselves. Humans. They had heard stories about them, but most of those stories were strange. Some said humans were wild and aggressive. Others claimed they were clever and creative. Today, they would find out more. Ms. Glim started her lesson by showing a holographic image of Earth. The planet was blue and green, with swirling white clouds. The students gasped in amazement. "Look at how beautiful it is. Earth is full of water, land, and amazing creatures," she said. "But there is one thing we need to discuss. Humans are banned from participating in galactic wars." The classroom grew silent. The students looked at each other in confusion. "Why?" asked a curious Zoran named Zeke, his long arms waving in the air. "Why can't humans fight?" "That's a great question, Zeke," Ms. Glynn replied. "The Galactic Council believes that humans are too unpredictable in battle. They think humans might not follow the rules and could cause more harm than good." "But how do we know that?" asked a fluffy blorp named Blee. "What if they could help us instead?" The students nodded in agreement, their interest piqued. Ms. Glinton noticed their curiosity and smiled. "You all seem very interested in this topic. How about you do a project to find out more about humans and their ban from the galactic wars?" The room erupted with excitement. Each student began to share their ideas about what they wanted to discover. Zeke suggested they look for human artifacts, while Blee wanted to find out about human history. Another student, a Krillon named Rix, proposed they interview other species to gather their thoughts on humans. "Great ideas, everyone," Ms. Glim said, clapping her hands. "Let's form small groups and start researching. Remember, our goal is to uncover the truth behind the ban on humans." The students quickly divided into groups, buzzing with energy. Zeke, Blee, and Rix teamed up, eager to start their investigation. They gathered materials from the classroom: colorful markers, big sheets of paper, and a glowing tablet to search for information. As they worked, they discussed their thoughts about humans. Zeke mentioned how he had read stories about humans who had achieved great things, like inventing machines that could fly and exploring space. "Humans have a strong spirit," he said. "They fight for what they believe in, even when things are tough." Bleed nodded excitedly. "Yes, and they have emotions. They care for each other and their families. I heard that humans can be kind too." Rix, who had been quiet, finally spoke up. "But there are stories about humans fighting wars. They can be dangerous, especially when they are angry. That's why the council might be worried." The three friends continued to discuss their ideas, realizing that humans were complex. They were not just one thing. They were many things. This made the students even more curious. They wanted to know why the Galactic Council had decided to ban them. After class, the students headed to the library, a vast place filled with books from all over the galaxy. The library was alive with the sounds of whispers and the soft glow of reading lights. Zeke, Blee, and Rix searched for books about humans and Earth. They found colorful images of human cities, families, and even pets. As they read, they found many stories about humans' achievements and struggles. They learned that humans had faced wars and conflicts, but they also discovered their ability to build peace and understanding. The more they read, the more fascinated they became. "Look at this," Blee exclaimed, pointing to a page. "Humans helped stop a big war once. They used their words to bring peace. Maybe they can help us too." Zeke's eyes lit up. "Yes, if we can show the Galactic Council what humans can do, maybe they will lift the ban. We must tell everyone what we find." Excited by the idea, the three friends continued their research, ready to uncover the truth about humans and their ban from galactic wars. They felt a sense of purpose, knowing that their findings could change how the galaxy viewed humans forever. As the sun set outside, casting a warm glow over the library, the students were eager to dive deeper into their research. They were not just learning. They were beginning a journey that could bridge worlds and bring understanding to the galaxy. Questions and curiosity. After their exciting first class about humans, Zeke, Blee, and Rix couldn't stop talking about their new project. The bright lights of the alien school buzzed with energy, and students rushed from class to class. But in their corner of the library, the three friends were focused on their task. They had a mission: to uncover the truth behind the ban on humans. "Let's start with the basics," Zeke suggested, pulling up a holographic screen on the tablet. "We need to know what humans are really like." Blee nodded, bouncing in his seat. "Yes, we can look for interesting facts. Maybe there are stories about their greatest achievements." Rix leaned closer to the tablet. "And we should find out what the Galactic Council said about the ban. There must be reasons behind it." As they searched for information, the friends found themselves in a world of words and images. They discovered stories about how humans had built tall cities and traveled to the moon. But they also read about wars that humans had fought and the sadness that came from them. "Why do they fight?" Blee asked, looking confused. "If they can build amazing things, why can't they just get along?" "That's a great question," Zeke replied thoughtfully. "Maybe they have different ideas about what is right or wrong. They might not always agree." Rick sighed. "It seems like humans are both wonderful and dangerous. They have such strong feelings, but those feelings can lead to fights." Suddenly, a small voice interrupted their discussion. It was Fifth, a tiny blorp student who had been listening from the next table. "I overheard you talking about humans. I know some stories." The three friends turned to Fifth, their eyes wide with interest. "Really? What do you know?" Zeke asked eagerly. Fifth hopped up onto the table. "I heard that humans can be very brave. There are stories about them saving their world from big problems, like pollution and wars. They stand up for what they believe in." Blee grinned. "That sounds amazing. But why would the council ban them? If humans can be heroes, shouldn't they be allowed to help?" Fifth shrugged, his fluffy body bouncing. "I don't know. But I think they're worried that humans might not follow the rules. Some people say that humans can get angry very easily." The friends nodded, considering Fifth's words. Rix leaned back in his chair, deep in thought. "Maybe we need to find out how humans view their own actions. Do they see themselves as good or bad? What do they think about the wars they fought?" Zeke's eyes lit up. "That's a brilliant idea. Let's see if we can find interviews or writings from humans. They can tell us what they think." Excited by their plan, the three friends continued their search, focusing on finding human voices. They explored stories from human authors and quotes from famous leaders. As they read, they uncovered a range of opinions. Some humans spoke of peace and cooperation, while others shared tales of anger and regret. "Look at this," Blee shouted, pointing to a quote on the screen. "This human says, 'War is a terrible thing, but sometimes we feel we have no choice.'" "That's sad," Rick said softly. "It seems like they struggle with their feelings, just like we do." Zeke sighed, feeling a mix of emotions. "It's not easy for anyone. We need to remember that humans are just like us. They want to protect their families and their homes." As the day went on, the three friends gathered more stories. They learned about human art, music, and culture. They found beautiful paintings and heard songs that told tales of love and loss. Each discovery added to their understanding of humans, painting a clearer picture. Suddenly, Blee had an idea. What if we could ask a human our questions directly? We could learn so much more. Zeke's eyes sparkled. That's a great idea. But how can we find a human to talk to? Rix thought for a moment. What about the human who visited our school? Maybe we can reach out to them. They might be willing to share their thoughts with us. Excited, the friends quickly gathered their notes and prepared a message. They wanted to ask the human questions about their life, their views on war, and what it means to be human. As they crafted their message, they were filled with anticipation. This could be our best chance to understand the truth, Zeke exclaimed. Once the message was ready, they sent it off, hoping for a response. The friends sat together, waiting, their hearts racing with excitement. But soon, they realized they couldn't just wait. We should keep researching while we wait for an answer, Blee suggested. Let's see if we can learn more about the Galactic Council and their decisions. They dove back into their research, exploring the history of the Galactic Council. They discovered that the Council was made up of representatives from different planets, all working together to keep peace in the galaxy. But there were always disagreements. Some council members believed that humans were too unpredictable, while others thought they deserved a second chance. This is complicated, Rick said, shaking his head. There are so many opinions about humans. How can we show the council that they can be trusted? Zeke smiled. By gathering more stories. If we can find enough evidence to show the council that humans can be peaceful and helpful, maybe they will change their minds. With determination, the friends continued their search, fueled by curiosity and hope. They were on a mission to uncover the truth, not just for themselves, but for all humans in the galaxy. They knew they had a long way to go, but they were ready to face any challenge that came their way. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the library, the friends felt a sense of purpose. They were not just learning about humans. They were beginning to bridge the gap between two worlds, and they were excited to see where their journey would take them next. The unexpected war. The days turned into weeks, and Zeke, Blee, and Rix were deep into their research about humans. They were excited to learn more, and they waited eagerly for a reply from the human they had contacted. But one afternoon, something unexpected happened that changed everything. The school's loudspeaker crackled to life, interrupting the busy chatter in the library. Attention, students. Please gather in the main hall immediately. We have an important announcement. Curious, Zeke, Blee, and Rix quickly put away their tablets and rushed to the main hall. The big room was filled with students and teachers, all buzzing with questions. The air was tense, and the three friends exchanged worried glances. Ms. Glim stood at the front, her usually cheerful face looking serious. Thank you for coming so quickly. I have news that is troubling. The Galactic Council has declared a state of emergency. Gasps filled the room. What does that mean? Blee whispered, his fluffy ears perked up in fear. Ms. Glim continued, there is a threat approaching our galaxy. An unknown fleet of ships has been spotted near the outer planets. We don't know who they are or what they want, but we must be ready. The students looked around, worried expressions on their faces. Zeke felt a knot in his stomach. Is this a war? He asked quietly. Ms. Glim took a deep breath. The council believes it could escalate into a conflict. They are urging all planets to prepare for defense. As the news sank in, the hall buzzed with panic. Students began to discuss what this could mean. Will we have to fight? One Krillon asked, glowing brighter with fear. Do we have a plan? Another student shouted. Zeke turned to Blee and Rix, his mind racing. This is terrible. If the council is worried, they might make hasty decisions about humans. They could see this as a reason to keep humans banned. Blee's eyes widened. You're right. If the council feels threatened, they might think humans are too risky to include. Rix nodded, looking determined. We need to do something. We can't let fear dictate their decisions. We have to show the council that humans can help, especially now. They quickly huddled together, discussing their options. We need to gather more information about this new fleet, Zeke suggested. If we can find out who they are, we can figure out how to respond. Blee looked around. But where do we start? We don't know anything about this fleet. Just then, Fifth bounced up to them, his eyes sparkling with excitement. I heard some teachers talking. They said the fleet is coming from the Draconian system. They are known for being fierce fighters. Zeke felt a chill run down his spine. Draconians? I've heard stories about them. They don't follow rules, and they love to fight. This could be serious. Rix frowned, thinking hard. What if we reach out to other planets? Maybe we can find allies who can help us understand the situation. Blee nodded eagerly. And we can share our findings about humans. If we show how humans helped solve conflicts before, it might convince the council to let them assist. With a sense of purpose, the friends raced back to the library, gathering information about the Draconians. They used their tablets to search for everything they could find. Stories, records, and historical battles. As they dug deeper, they uncovered a mix of truths and rumors. Look at this, Rix exclaimed, pointing to a video showing Draconian ships. They're huge and intimidating. They've fought in many wars, and they never back down. Blee shivered. They sound scary, but maybe they have a reason for coming here. Not all aliens are bad. Zeke took a deep breath. We have to be brave. We need to find out what the Draconians want. If they are looking for peace, we can help bring them together with the council. Suddenly, their tablets beeped. They had received a message back from the human they had contacted. Read it, Blee urged, his heart racing. Zeke opened the message, and they all crowded around the screen. The human explained their experiences and shared stories about Earth's struggles with wars and conflicts. They wrote about how humans had learned from their mistakes and sought peace. This is perfect, Rick said, excitement bubbling in his voice. We can share this with the council. Humans can offer solutions. But just as they were celebrating, the loudspeaker crackled again. Attention, students. All classes are canceled. We must gather in the main hall for an emergency meeting with the council representatives. Panic swept through the library. Zeke, Blee, and Rix quickly gathered their notes and headed back to the main hall, determined to be part of the discussion. As they entered, they saw the council representatives on the stage, looking serious and worried. Zeke's heart raced. He knew this was their chance to speak up for humans. The council leader, a tall Zoran with bright green skin, began to speak. We are facing a critical moment. We need to prepare for possible conflict with the Draconian fleet. We must decide if we will defend our galaxy together or take a more cautious approach. Zeke felt a surge of courage. We need to talk about humans, he shouted, surprising himself with his boldness. They can help us. They have valuable experiences in dealing with conflict. The room fell silent as everyone turned to look at him. Blee and Rix stood by his side, nodding in agreement. Humans have faced many challenges, Zeke continued, feeling the weight of their mission. They have fought wars, but they have also learned to seek peace. If we let them join us, they can help us find a better way. The council members exchanged glances, considering Zeke's words. It was a risk, but it was a chance they had to take. As the tension in the hall grew, Zeke, Blee, and Rix stood together, ready to advocate for a brighter future. They knew they were on the edge of a new beginning, one that could change how the galaxy viewed humans forever. Meeting a human. The room was filled with tension as Zeke, Blee, and Rix stood before the council, their hearts racing. After Zeke's bold declaration, the council members whispered among themselves. Zeke hoped they would understand. This was their chance to make a difference. Finally, the Zoran leader raised a hand to quiet the crowd. You speak of humans with great passion. But how can we trust that they will help us in a time of war? Blee stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. We have received a message from a human. They have faced wars and found ways to seek peace. They want to help. The council listened intently. Rix added, "If we can arrange a meeting with this human, they can share their experiences. It might change your mind about allowing humans to join us." After a long pause, the council leader nodded slowly. "Very well. If you can bring a human here to speak with us, we will consider your request. But be cautious. If they are hostile, it could put us all in danger." Excited but nervous, Zeke, Blee, and Rix rushed back to the library. They immediately sent a message to the human they had contacted, asking if they would come to their planet to speak with the Galactic Council. They held their breaths, hoping for a quick reply. After what felt like hours, a response finally appeared on their screens. The human agreed. They were excited to share their stories and experiences. "I can come to your planet in 2 days," the message said. "I'm ready to help." Zeke, Blee, and Rix couldn't contain their joy. "This is amazing," Rix shouted. "Now we have to prepare for their arrival. We want everything to go smoothly." The next 2 days were a whirlwind of activity. The friends decorated the meeting hall with bright colors and alien flowers. They wanted to make the human feel welcome. They also gathered all the information they had collected about humans and the Draconians. They practiced what they would say during the meeting, determined to make a good impression. On the day of the meeting, the hall was filled with excitement and nerves. Students and council members alike whispered about the human visitor. Zeke, Blee, and Rix stood together at the front, waiting for the human to arrive. Finally, the doors opened, and in walked a tall human with dark hair and bright eyes. They wore a simple shirt and pants, looking both curious and a bit nervous. The room fell silent as everyone stared. This was their first real encounter with a human, and Zeke felt his heart race. The human smiled warmly, their eyes shining with kindness. "Hello, everyone," the human said, their voice strong yet friendly. "I'm Alex. I'm excited to meet all of you and share my experiences." Blee grinned. "Welcome, Alex. We're so happy you're here." Zeke stepped forward, feeling proud. "Thank you for coming. We've been learning about humans, and the Galactic Council wanted to hear your story." Alex nodded, looking around the room at the curious faces. "I know that humans have a complicated history. We have made mistakes, but we've also learned valuable lessons. I hope to share those with you." Rick stepped forward, eager to ask questions. "Can you tell us about a time when humans faced war and then sought peace?" Alex smiled, glad to share. "Of course. One significant moment in our history was after World War I. Many countries were hurt and divided. But instead of continuing to fight, we came together to rebuild. We created organizations to help countries work together for peace." Zeke listened intently, fascinated by the story. "That sounds incredible. But what about the anger and hurt that comes from war? How do humans deal with those feelings?" Alex took a deep breath, considering the question. "It's not easy. We feel strong emotions during and after wars. Some humans turn to violence, but others seek understanding. We learn to listen to one another and to find common ground. It takes time and effort." The council members exchanged glances, clearly impressed. Zeke could see that Alex's words were making an impact. If humans can learn from their past, maybe they can help us with the draconian situation. One council member whispered. Blee jumped in, eager to ask another question. "What do you think about the draconians? Do you believe we can find peace with them?" Alex's expression turned serious. "Every conflict is different. The key is communication. If we can reach out to the draconians, we might discover their motivations. Maybe they want peace too, but fear is getting in the way." Rix nodded. "That makes sense. If we can talk to them instead of fighting, we might find a solution." The conversation continued, and as Alex shared more stories, the council began to lean in closer, captivated by the humans' insights. They learned about human creativity, resilience, and the desire to connect with others. As the meeting drew to a close, the council leader stood up, looking thoughtful. "Thank you, Alex. Your words have opened our eyes to the potential of working together. We must consider this information carefully." Zeke felt a wave of hope wash over him. If the council allows humans to join us, we can work together to address the threat of the Draconians. As Alex smiled at Zeke, the friends exchanged glances of excitement. They knew that this meeting was just the beginning of a new chapter. With Alex's help, they could bridge the gap between their worlds and show that understanding and peace were possible. As everyone began to leave the hall, Zeke, Blee, and Rix gathered around Alex. "Thank you for being here," Zeke said, his heart filled with gratitude. "You've inspired us." Alex grinned. "And you've inspired me. Together, we can create a better future." With newfound determination, Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex left the hall, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They were united in their mission to promote peace, and they knew they could make a difference. This was not just about them. It was about everyone in the galaxy. The shocking truth. After the meeting with Alex, Zeke, Blee, and Rix felt a surge of hope. They believed that they could make a real difference in their galaxy. They gathered together to discuss their next steps. "We need to reach out to the Draconians," Zeke said, determination in his voice. "We can't let fear guide our actions. If they are coming for a reason, we need to understand it." "I agree," Blee said, his fluffy ears twitching with excitement. "But how do we contact them? Draconians are known for being fierce. They might not want to talk." Rix nodded. "We need a plan. If we can show them that we are serious about peace, they might listen." As they brainstormed, Alex suggested, "Why not send a message? We can use the council's communication system to reach out to them. It's worth a try." Zeke felt nervous. What if they ignore us, or worse, see it as a threat? "Then we'll deal with that if it happens," Alex replied confidently. "But we won't know unless we try." Feeling determined, they decided to prepare a message. They crafted it carefully, emphasizing their desire for peace and understanding. After they finished, Blee pressed the send button, and they all held their breath, hoping for a positive response. Days passed, and anxiety filled the air. The council held meetings to discuss the situation with the Draconians, but no reply came to their message. Zeke couldn't help but feel worried. What if they are planning to attack? We need to stay alert. Finally, the day arrived when the council called another meeting. Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex took their seats, eager but anxious. The room was filled with tension as the council members exchanged serious glances. The Zoran leader stood up, looking grave. "We have received a message from the Draconian fleet." Gasps echoed around the hall. Zeke felt his heart race. "What did they say?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The leader continued, "They have requested a meeting with us. They want to discuss their intentions and the reasons for their arrival." Relief washed over Zeke. "This is our chance. We can find out what they want. But we must be careful," the Zoran leader cautioned. "Draconians are known for their unpredictable nature. We cannot take this lightly." With that, the council decided to send a delegation to meet with the Draconians. Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex volunteered to join. They knew that understanding the truth was crucial for everyone's safety. The meeting was scheduled for the following week. Zeke spent every moment preparing. He studied Draconian history, their culture, and their ways of communication. He wanted to be ready for anything. On the day of the meeting, they traveled to a neutral planet where the Draconians had set up their ships. Zeke could see the massive vessels hovering in the sky, casting shadows over the landscape. His heart raced with both excitement and fear. As they approached the Draconian ships, they were met by a tall, imposing figure. The Draconian leader had scales that shimmered like metal and eyes that glowed with intensity. "You are the representatives from the Galactic Council?" they asked in a deep, booming voice. Zeke stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. Yes, I'm Zeke. We are here to understand why you have come. The draconian leader narrowed their eyes, assessing the group. We have come because we seek the truth. We have heard whispers about your council and your views on humans. Alex spoke up, confidence shining in their voice. We want to show you that humans can help. They have valuable lessons to share. The draconian leader regarded Alex for a moment before nodding slowly. You humans have been banned for centuries. It is not a decision made lightly. We have reasons for our distrust. Zeke felt a knot in his stomach. What reasons? We are here to listen. The draconian leader took a deep breath. Long ago, humans were involved in a war that nearly destroyed our galaxy. Your reckless actions and thirst for power led to devastation. The council decided that humans could not be trusted. The room fell silent as Zeke absorbed the weight of the truth. But we have changed. We have learned from our mistakes. Isn't it possible to forgive and move forward? The draconian leader remained silent for a moment. Forgiveness is not easy. Many of my people still remember the past, and fear drives them. Lee stepped forward, his voice trembling with emotion. But we can build a better future together. If we can work together, we can prevent another war. The draconian leader looked at Blee, seeing the sincerity in their eyes. You speak of peace, but can you guarantee it? Can your people control their desires? Zeke felt a surge of determination. We can show you that humans are not the same as they were before. We want to be allies, not enemies. After a long pause, the draconian leader nodded slowly. Very well. We will consider your offer. But know this, if you betray our trust, the consequences will be severe. With that, the meeting came to an end. As they left the draconian ship, Zeke felt a mix of hope and fear. They had learned the shocking truth about humans' past and the reason for the draconians' distrust. But now they had a chance to change that story. As they headed back to their ship, Alex smiled at Zeke, Blee, and Rix. You all did great. This is just the beginning. Zeke nodded, feeling a spark of optimism. We have a long way to go, but I believe we can create a brighter future. With their hearts filled with hope, they set off to share their newfound knowledge with the Galactic Council. The journey ahead was uncertain, but they knew they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would prove that understanding and peace were possible. Preparing to share, Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex returned to their planet after the meeting with the Draconians, their minds buzzing with thoughts and emotions. The gravity of what they had learned weighed heavily on them, and they knew they had an important task ahead. They needed to prepare the council for the next steps, and they had to do it quickly. Everyone is going to want to know what happened, Blee said, his fluffy ears twitching with anticipation. We have to make sure they understand how important this is. Zeke nodded. We need to share the truth about our past and the Draconians' fears, but we also have to show them that we can change and work together. As they walked toward the council chamber, Rix spoke up. We should make a presentation. If we show the council the facts, they might feel more confident about our meeting with the Draconians. Good idea. Alex agreed. We can use images and stories to illustrate our points. It will help everyone understand. Once they reached the council chamber, Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex gathered around a large table. They pulled up screens and began to prepare their presentation. Zeke took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. Let's start with the history of humans and their mistakes, he suggested. They worked tirelessly, gathering images of past wars and their consequences. They also found stories of how humans had changed over time, focusing on their efforts to promote peace and cooperation. Each image they selected told a story, highlighting the lessons learned from their mistakes. Blee created colorful slides, filling them with information about the meeting with the Draconians. We need to show that the Draconians are open to discussion, he said, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. If we can make a strong case, the council might support us in reaching out to them again. Rix nodded, adding, we should also include quotes from Alex. Hearing from a human will make it more personal. As the sun set outside, the group worked late into the night, fine-tuning their presentation. They shared ideas, laughed, and encouraged each other, growing more excited about their mission. Finally, they were ready. The next day, the council gathered to hear their presentation. Zeke stood at the front, his heart pounding in his chest. He glanced at Alex, who gave him a reassuring nod. Together, they were ready to share their truth. "Thank you for joining us today," Zeke began, his voice steady. "We have important information about the Draconians and the future of our galaxy. We believe that with understanding, we can build a better future together." He gestured to the first slide, which showed images of wars from the past. "Humans have made mistakes. Our history is filled with conflicts that have caused pain and suffering. But we have learned from these experiences." Blee took over, pointing to the next slide filled with images of peace efforts and cooperation among different species. "After our mistakes, humans sought to create peace. We've built organizations to promote understanding and resolve conflicts. We believe that we can apply these lessons to our relationship with the Draconians." Rick stepped forward, excitement lighting up his face. "In our recent meeting with the Draconians, they expressed their fears. They remember the past and worry that humans may cause trouble again. But we can show them that we are not the same." Alex stood up, feeling the weight of the moment. "I shared my own story with them. Humans are not just about war. We have a deep desire for connection and understanding. We can help each other." The council members listened closely, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Zeke could see that some were still uncertain, but others were nodding along, clearly intrigued. As the presentation continued, they shared Alex's words about forgiveness and communication. "If we can reach out to the Draconians with open hearts, we may find common ground. We can work together to prevent war and promote peace." After finishing the presentation, Zeke felt a wave of relief wash over him. He had shared their message, but now they needed to answer questions. The council leaders spoke first. "Your passion is commendable. However, the fear of the past still looms large. How can we guarantee that this will not end in conflict?" Rix responded, "We understand your concerns, but by working together, we can create a framework for peace. We can offer to mediate discussions with the Draconians, ensuring that all voices are heard." Blee added, "We could also establish a council that includes representatives from both sides. This way, we can address concerns before they escalate into violence." The council members exchanged glances, clearly considering the suggestions. Zeke could see that their proposal was beginning to resonate. Finally, one of the elder council members spoke up. "You present a compelling case. Perhaps it is time to consider a new approach. If you can arrange another meeting with the Draconians, we may support your efforts." Joy spread through the room. Zeke felt a surge of hope as the council began to discuss the next steps. "We can do this," he thought, his heart racing. As the meeting ended, Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex exchanged excited glances. They had taken a significant step forward, and the journey to building trust with the Draconians was beginning. "Now we have to prepare for the next meeting," Zeke said, feeling energized. "We need to show the Draconians that we are serious about peace." Blee nodded enthusiastically. "Let's get started right away. We have so much to do." With renewed determination, they set off to plan their next move. They were ready to face the challenges ahead, united in their mission to create understanding and peace between humans and Draconians. A new beginning. The day had finally arrived. Zeke, Blee, Rix, and Alex stood outside the meeting chamber, their hearts racing with anticipation. Today, they would meet with the Draconians again. This was a chance to build a new beginning for both species, and they were ready to show their commitment to peace. As they entered the chamber, Zeke took a deep breath. The Draconians were already there, their tall figures looming with an air of authority. Zeke noticed the leaders' shimmering scales reflecting the light, reminding him of their previous meeting. "This is it," he thought, steeling himself for what lay ahead. "Welcome back," the Draconian leader said, their voice echoing in the chamber. "We appreciate your willingness to continue this discussion." Zeke stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. "Thank you for giving us another chance. We hope to share ideas and build a strong partnership between our peoples." Blee and Rix moved to the side, setting up their presentation. Alex stood next to Zeke, providing silent support. Zeke knew that their words and actions today could shape the future. As the presentation began, Zeke spoke clearly. "Today, we want to focus on understanding and cooperation. We've gathered more information about how our two species can work together." Blee presented images of various joint projects and initiatives that had succeeded across the galaxy. "Look at these examples. When different species come together, amazing things can happen. We believe that humans and Draconians can achieve great things too." The Draconians listened intently, their expressions difficult to read. Zeke could sense a mix of skepticism and curiosity in the air. He knew they needed to convince the Draconians that this was not just empty talk. Rix added, "We understand your fears about humans, but we are different now. We want to prove that we can be trusted allies." The Draconian leader tilted their head, considering Rix's words. Trust is not given lightly, especially when the past weighs so heavily. Alex stepped forward, his voice steady. "I understand that, but I believe we can change that story. As a human, I know my people's history, and I am committed to helping us move forward. We can build a future where trust grows through understanding and communication." Zeke could see the Draconians exchanging glances. He hoped they could feel the sincerity in Alex's words. After the presentation, the Draconians took a moment to discuss among themselves. Zeke felt the tension in the room. It was palpable. He could almost hear the heartbeat of everyone present, echoing with anticipation. Finally, the Draconian leader spoke. "You present a compelling case. However, we must be cautious. What steps can you take to ensure that we do not fall back into conflict?" Blee replied eagerly. "We propose a series of joint exercises where our species can work together on shared goals. This way, we can learn about each other and build trust." The Draconian leader nodded thoughtfully. "An interesting idea, but we will need to see genuine cooperation. The actions must match the words." Zeke felt a surge of determination. "We will commit ourselves to this. We can start with small projects and gradually work up to larger ones. If we demonstrate our willingness to collaborate, I believe trust will grow." After a long silence, the Draconian leader finally spoke. "Very well. We will agree to a trial period of collaboration. If successful, we may consider formalizing our alliance." Joy flooded through Zeke and his friends. "Thank you. We will work hard to make this a success," he exclaimed. As they wrapped up the meeting, Zeke felt a wave of relief and excitement. They had taken the first step toward a brighter future. As they left the chamber, Blee couldn't contain his enthusiasm. "We did it. This is a new beginning." Rix grinned. "Now the real work starts. Let's show the Draconians what we can do together." Alex smiled at Zeke. "You were amazing today. I knew you could do it." Zeke felt a warmth spread through him. It was a team effort. We all did this together. In the following weeks, Zeke and his friends worked tirelessly to establish their new partnership with the Draconians. They organized joint workshops, where both species shared their skills and knowledge. The Draconians taught them about their advanced technology, while the humans shared their understanding of diplomacy and negotiation. As time passed, the collaboration flourished. Zeke watched as the Draconians began to see humans in a new light. They started to laugh and share stories, breaking down the barriers of mistrust that had existed for so long. The changes were slow but noticeable, and Zeke felt hope growing in his heart. One day, during a joint project, a young Draconian named Tall approached Zeke. "I never thought humans could be so interesting. You are different from what I imagined." Zeke smiled, feeling a sense of pride. "We're learning from each other. That's how we grow. With each passing day, the bonds between their species grew stronger. They shared not just skills, but also laughter, stories, and dreams for the future. Zeke realized that this was just the beginning of something wonderful. As they stood together, watching the sunset over their collaborative project, Zeke felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had come so far from the fearful past, and now a new path lay ahead, one filled with promise and hope. With a united spirit, they looked forward to the adventures that awaited them, ready to face challenges together. This new beginning was not just for them. It was for the entire galaxy. Together, they would prove that understanding and cooperation could change the world.